Hi everyone. Get ready for a mind-bending mystery. Detectives Nora and Jake uncover a chilling secret hidden within the walls of the Holloway mansion. What they find will change everything. If you come across any unfamiliar words, take note and listen again to reinforce your learning. By following this story, you'll improve your English skills in a fun and engaging way. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. It was a late evening when Nora received the call. She was at her small apartment in the city, going through old case files from her days as a detective. She had retired a few years ago, but every now and then she couldn't help but revisit old mysteries.
Hello,
She answered, wiping the sleep from her eyes.
Nora, it's Jake.
The voice on the other end said.
I need your help. There's been another disappearance.
Her heart raced. Jake was a former colleague from her time as a detective.
another one? Where?
She asked, already grabbing her coat.
Same place as the others, Nora. The old Holloway mansion.
Jake said, his voice strained.
Only this time, there's something different.
Nora paused.
What's different?
Jake hesitated.
This time, there's a witness.
The Holloway mansion was a sprawling, decrepit estate at the edge of town. It had stood empty for years, the subject of countless rumors. Some said it was haunted. Others believed it had been abandoned due to the many strange events that had occurred there. But it was always a place people avoided. As Nora arrived at the mansion, she could feel the weight of its history pressing down on her. Jake stood at the door, his face pale.
She's in there.
He whispered.
Who is she?
Nora asked.
A woman. She claims to have seen the man who disappeared.
Together, they entered the house. The inside was dark, with only the moonlight creeping through broken windows. Dust and cobwebs covered the old furniture. As they made their way down the hallway, they reached a small room at the end. Inside was a woman, sitting in the corner, her face pale and drawn. Her name was Elizabeth. She looked up at them with wide, terrified eyes.
I saw him.
She whispered.
I saw the man.
Elizabeth recounted her experience.
I was here last night, cleaning up the house for my uncle. I wasn't supposed to be in this part of the mansion, but I heard a noise. Footsteps, coming from the attic. I went upstairs to check, and there he was, a man, standing in the middle of the room. He didn't speak, but I could feel his presence.
What happened next?
Jake asked. Elizabeth shuddered.
He turned toward the window, looked out, and then he disappeared, just like that. Vanished into thin air.
Nora's mind raced.
Was there anyone else in the house?
No,
Elizabeth replied.
just me. But when I came downstairs, I found something strange. A note. It was on the table. It said, "He will never leave."
Nora felt a chill run down her spine. Something about Elizabeth's story didn't sit right with her. There had to be more. She asked Elizabeth to take them to the attic. As they climbed the narrow staircase, Nora noticed something odd, a series of scratches along the wall. They led to a hidden door, partially obscured by old furniture. With a bit of effort, Jake managed to pry it open. Inside was a small room, its walls covered in old, faded photographs. But it was the final photograph that caught Nora's eye. A picture of a man standing in the same spot as Elizabeth had described. The man looked familiar. He was the same man who had gone missing just days ago. Nora felt a cold sweat break out on her brow. The man in the photograph was alive. He had been seen only hours before his disappearance. After hours of searching, they found a dusty old journal in the corner of the room. It was written by the mansion's original owner, Victor Holloway. As Nora flipped through the pages, she discovered a hidden truth. The mansion had been the site of a series of experiments involving memory manipulation and time. Victor had been obsessed with finding a way to make people forget the past and, in turn, control their future. In one of the final entries, Victor wrote, "I have done it. I have perfected the method. But there is a cost. Those who are caught in the loop will vanish. They will be erased from time itself." Nora's heart sank. The man who had disappeared wasn't dead. He had been erased from existence.
I think I know what happened.
Nora said, turning to Jake.
Elizabeth isn't just a witness. She's part of it. She's been living in a loop, just like the others.
Elizabeth stared at them, confused.
What do you mean?
The man who disappeared wasn't just anyone. He was someone you knew, someone important. But he's been erased from your memory. You can't remember him because you've been part of the experiment all along.
Elizabeth's eyes widened as realization dawned on her.
I remember him,
She whispered.
I remember. But I didn't want to.
Nora knew they had to break the cycle. But how? She glanced at the journal and saw a final note. The key is acceptance. Let go, and you will return to the present. Nora turned to Elizabeth.
You have to accept what happened. You have to let go of your fear of the past and move forward.
Elizabeth nodded slowly.
I can do that.
The room began to feel warmer, the air less heavy. A sound, like a soft whisper, filled the space. Suddenly, the photograph of the man in the attic began to fade, and Elizabeth's memory began to clear. In the end, Elizabeth was free. The mansion was silent, its dark secrets now buried with the truth. Nora and Jake left the mansion, knowing they had uncovered a story that no one else would ever believe, but they knew it was real. Now, let's see if you remember the details of the story. Here are some questions for you. 1. What was the strange event Elizabeth witnessed in the mansion? 2. What did the journal reveal about the mansion's history? 3. How did Elizabeth break the cycle and regain her memories? You can write your answers in the comments. The correct answers are in the description.